Well, you remember when somebody suggested just put a new valve core in my tire? That wasn't it. And now we have to deal with it. So we're gonna get started right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Rusty Oliver Man. And unfortunately here, this tire went flat again. And this time it decided to do it in such a way that it pulled the valve stem inside. So now we have to deal with this. Isn't that a thrill, friends? I wanted to use it for something. And I don't know where that came from. But anyway, yeah. Couldn't even air it up this time. So what we need to do is start it up, use the tractor as a jack, get that up off the ground. I got my cord, I got the thing plugged in, so I need to get my cord out of the way where the bucket's not gonna just smash on it. So let's, I'm trying to make sure I got it. I think I got everything I need right here, with the exception of maybe a thinking stool. So we're gonna move the cord, try to start the tractor, and then we will hopefully proceed with getting a tube out of there, and hopefully it will be something that we can fix, because if it's something that's bad enough, then we'll have to sit and wait till tomorrow on another tube, because I doubt I have another one. I might, but I don't know. All right, tractor, will you start? Oh yeah. Come on. Takes it a minute to all right, and luckily I don't think we ran it long enough to really stir up the bovines. It helped that it fired right up and it was wide open, because they don't recognize that sound. They're used to the sound of it cranking and not starting, and then finally, yeah, it's strange how they are the way that they are. But if you keep it at a low idle or you keep it wide open, it won't affect them. Anything else though? Yeah. Now I see the other one, and I could just get a piece of wire and fish it through. But why? We've been messing with the same thing again and again. So why not just fix it now? You know? Should I get the rest of the tools? Very probably. Because I don't have the rest of the tools. They're on the floorboard of the tractor. That's what I figured. Should probably also have some Earl to put on the thread. I also hear a Cyclops problem we're gonna have to go address. I don't know exactly what it's arcing on, but I can hear it behind the building here. Say, I've had this off so many times it should come loose relatively easy. Let's Oops. Let's see if we can, do we want to try to pull it over the edge now and then pop the backside off? I don't know what we want to do. We can do whatever. Oh, boys. We're not gonna save it. We're gonna have to. Are we? Yeah, moo. No, it's up off the ground enough, but the axle is hanging. So, or is it settling down? It might be settling down. That's fine though, too. You know, we didn't need success. Have we stirred up the bovines enough yet? We got this up at working height though. That's kind of handy, other than the fact that it'll do that every time we pry on it. Oh boy, let's go here. Now we'll break the back loose. And it should just pop right free. God bless America. Land that I love. Okay, let's see if we can figure out the problem. Wonder if my air hose, which is behind me, has any air left in it whatsoever. None. None, he says. So, we will go swap we'll go turn on the air compressor, is what I'm saying. No. Now we just gotta wait forever. See if we inflate this tube, then in theory we can find where the hole is. Then we can hold it up to the tire and figure out where that was. Make sure there's not something sticking in the tire still that's causing our issue. I think this is one of those tires that went flat the first time here a while back because of thorns. So there's a very good chance that it's got a little thorn in it somewhere. I don't know. Probably going to be very hard to find because it's such a slow leak. Uh-oh. This is going to be one of those ones where you just about need a soapy tank of water to find it, probably, because it's so small. Because I do not see or hear or feel anywhere in this tube any kind of sort of thing. And that's a shame, because that tube looks like it's pretty decent-ish. Let's reach in here and see if we feel anything in the tire. This is a very gentle process too. I don't feel any issues, and this rim should be fairly clean because it was always a good. That might need a little attention. But really not. That's where the tire sits. I don't know why I didn't paint this rim with gloss black. I think I got it somewhere and it was already painted. But everything feels good. I mean, it's not like that was the issue. Or definitely you'd be able to tell that on the tube because it would be rubbed raw. What size is this? 11L15. People ask the tire sizes and all this stuff all the time. This is an 11L15 on the front of this one, and the 1855 has 1116s, I think. But 11L15 is a common implement tire. I might have a new tube in the pickup that I bought for those implement tires, and then I can just order a different one. But this is looking like this is, I mean, let's put our, it doesn't appear that the valve core's leaking, but it definitely goes flat. And in that case, usually it's such a tiny hole that soapy water tank is about the only way you're going to find it, or just abandon ship and get a different one, which is I think what I'm going to do for today. We can always try this later and see if we can find it, but it's all going to determine on if I got one. I'm pretty sure I do, but let me check. Okay friends, I think this will probably work, so we'll swap it out and see if that makes it happy. And if this one goes flat, then we know we got a problem inside the tire. But I sure can't feel anything. I've went around several times in there and I just don't feel it, and I can't find a place on the tube real easy, and the valve core doesn't seem to be leaking. So figure that out. Mystery tire deflation. It's probably got a very teeny tiny pinhole from a tip of a thorn or something, and I probably won't find it till this one goes flat, and then I have to end up inevitably cutting another tube and putting the tube inside a tube to make a liner. But we'll see. Nothing new. I mean, we've done this sort of problem before, or had this sort of problem before over the years. Mystery tire problem. And then, you know, let's see here. Where's my valve stem opening? There we go. Well, shoot. I guess we'll struggle bus it. Here I thought I was going to try to put the valve stem in the hole first, but nothing wants to play nice. Everything wants to cause a problem now. Man. Come on. What we got here, it was a beautiful struggle. And if this leaks down again, I'm gonna cry, because I have fought this all winter for no reason. And if it doesn't now, I'm gonna really be sad. Come on, baby. All right. Let's find our tools back. Are they far out of reach? Probably. I wouldn't see why they wouldn't be. That's just how life goes. Oh. Okay. Come on, Mama. Come on, baby. This is hard to do. I'm too far away. I need to be up closer where I can actually put my knee against it or something. This isn't as ideal, I guess, as if you had it up on a jack. But when you got a loader tractor, I am not using a jack. I'm going to use the loader tractor to get itself up off the ground. And then I'm going to fight relentlessly. Relentlessly fight. Come on, baby doll. I know it's hard to do when you keep going up in the air, but we're gonna get it. We're halfway there now. Come on, you. Come on. All right. Let's see what life hands us. Spoiler alert, it's sadness. Usually is. Why would it be different this time? Come on. Come on. Oh, it's gonna hand us the air chuck not making contact. And sweet. That's how that usually is, yeah. Come on, baby doll. Oh, cool. Would have been cooler if that would have went inside, so I would have had to poke a hole in the tube. That's cool when it does that too. Don't worry, we'll get there. We'll get it in there and have to ruin this new tube. Don't you fret. I need to go get the red pliers. Red pliers! Come on. I know you're working real hard to try to get me to struggle and fail. Come on. Come on, get in there. There's no reason why you can't participate. All right. I hear tube things happening in there while it's finding its happy place. So let's let the air out. Put it in again. Struggle one more time. I also remember putting the air gauge away just a minute ago, so that was kind of dumb of me because again, we do this so that, okay, quit whistling, tire, while I'm trying to talk. Again, we let the air out so that the tube can find its happy place. Because if it's all folded up and wrinkled on itself and whatever, it'll self-destruct after a little bit of time of rubbing together. Come on, baby. All right. Okay. Struggle caboose. Come on. Mama. Let me go grab the good tire gauge, which I now know where it is. I found it after doing that 1250, but not even on the stick. Come on, tire. 25, 25, 30, 35. No, we need more. Oh, that's not got it. Come on. We'll get it. I promise. $30. That's probably about right. I'll give it just a little more. That's probably good. All right. Say your happy thoughts now and think all your positive energies and whatever. And maybe this thing will decide to not go flat anymore, because I'm getting seriously tired of having to fix stuff every time I want to use it. I mean, yeah. Let's pick up our tools and then we'll set her down. You know, if it immediately squeezes all the air out, then we know we didn't fix it. But I think we'll be good. I think we'll be good. I'm very concerned about the Zep straw. Oh, by picking up the tools, I meant just putting it on another flat surface. I thought that was clear to you, but that's okay. All right. I'll set this tube somewhere. And we'll deal with it later. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what we'll find or whatever. The reason I wanted to use this was to pick up trash. And then I find that the tire's flat, and that kind of ruined my day. I found it this morning, so I plugged it in so that it would be ready here when I got back. And so far it's not dark yet. I'll send my friend who owns a tire shop a picture of that bag, and he can order me another one of those. This tire looks a little bit squeezy downy, doesn't it? And of course it's over there. I was gonna say, let's put a little air in this sucker whilst we're at it. Should we see what it's got first? We should probably also cut the strings off the axle. We should probably also put in the axle seals that I bought like 20 years ago and never did. Alright. We're going to air it up so that most of that bulge is out of there, though. I don't like that bulgingness of the tire, especially on the inside there. Tires are nice and clean, though, after plowing all that snow, you know. Shined them right up there, about like driving through nice clean hayfield, you know, or whatever. It does this about the same way. Yeah, this poor thing. Axle seals, needs them bad. They're in the rollaway toolbox. that I had when I worked at the dealership, because I was gonna bring it in there and do it, and never did. There's the other one. We also need to, in addition to the trick hydropower, we need to go through the total brake system. Grandpa just was not good about driving with the brakes released. I'd have them locked or whatever, and he'd drive 10 miles with them locked, and they'd just be screaming. I mean, smoking to the point that it would lock up. I know I followed him one time because I smelled it going down the road. I was somewhere totally different, and I smelled burning brakes, and I was like, that can't be, but it sure enough was. I drove down the road till I saw my tractor going down the road smoking and brakes. So it needs brakes bad. It's the moral of the story. And seals in that. We did that to that other one, but this one needs it. Needs a good power washing. It just needs a lot more love. We brought it back from the dead, like about whatever that's been now, 20 years ago. Maybe not quite. And then, anyway, it's now to the point that it needs attention again. It's also to the point I'm thinking about pulling the head off of it and put a different head gasket on, because it looks like it's seeping here. I'm not a fan of that, but whatever. It's not getting any water in the oil, and it's not blowing out any compression. It's just annoying. We're gonna leave that there. We went from nothing on the stick to that. So that looks much better, though. When I look at it, it doesn't hurt my brain. So now there's, you know, space for my brain to be hurt by other things, like people you encounter on the street. Boy, there's some stupid people, aren't there? And the sad part is, the people you see, there's probably, like, the other half of people are stupider than that. And that's really depressing, you know? All right. Yeah, we need to cut strings off, put axle seals in, brakes and brake seals. We should do the hydraulic lever sealing on this one, which I don't think I've ever done on this one. Should probably change the hydraulic filter again. Hopefully it's not rusted up tight. This tractor, when I got it, that hydraulic filter housing was so tight on this one, more than any one I've ever done. And I'm not kidding you, when I probably had 40 foot of bar on this. I mean, it was way up in the air, and so much that it was sagging down where you could reach it. And I had that, and then I had a big pipe wrench on here, and between two people we got her busted loose, and I think I even had to heat it to get it. But it just would not give it up until I finally went over the top with bar length and got it. But it was a good thing we did, because this was a mess. This poor tractor. They said, the guy who bought it new, or whose dad bought it new, told me when I called him and said I had bought it after it had changed hands like 4 times in 3 months. I told him that, or he told me that he thought it was going to need a hydraulic pump, because the hydraulic pump was getting weak. Well, that was not exactly what it was, and we can talk about that in a minute here, as soon as I get my tire aired up. But it was a combination of, first of all, that fluid, or that filter, had never been changed, and I think it was even crushed a little bit, so that wasn't very good for it. And then the other part was adjustment. You have to have your adjustment right, or you're not going to have any hydraulics to speak of like you want. Before we talk about that, let's put the air on this, because this one's sitting here flat now too. Everything went flat in the cold, and somehow the air leaves, but it doesn't magically return. But anywho, what was wrong was this little linkage here Right down there, that little turnbuckle linkage that regulates from your handle to everything. And if you have your arms, I've talked about this before, if you don't have it where you can lift them up a little when it's all the way up, then it's going to blow the relief valve and you won't have any hydraulics. And what they had is it was out of whack, and it was like partially blowing the relief valve the whole time. And so the tractor didn't hardly have any hydraulics. I mean, I'm still running on the same pump as what was in there. So, moral of the story, check that adjustment, you know. Plus, if you know what you're listening to, you can tell the sound of the relief valve blowing, and you can hear it when it starts to blow and whatever, so you should know. And there are times when stuff has happened, like something got bent a little bit or whatever, and that thing was out of adjustment, so that can happen, you know. If you run over bush hogging and a good sized stick hit that turnbuckle, it could put enough of a swag in it that it turned her out of adjustment, or bent it to where it wasn't in adjustment anymore. So just stuff like that, friends. Stuff to be aware of. I think we're gonna stop with that for now, because this old rickety tire, tire was only to be able to move this around, so that's why this one's on backwards. That poor thing needs attention too. We need to try to see if we can't get some life into that one of these days. But we got a whole slew of projects, friends, that just seem like time is our issue, you know. We got projects and projects and projects, but we just don't seem to have the free time, because somebody else has always got something more important for us to do. And so, I don't know. I'm trying to rein back on that somewhat so that I can work on my own stuff, and I don't have to just be doing stuff for everybody else all the time. But the other thing is, other people's stuff pays a lot better than working on your own stuff. Then you can afford to work on your own stuff. So it's a vicious cycle, you know. But as YouTube does a little bit better, I'm trying to wean off of outside projects so that we can just focus on this stuff. So keep watching the videos, watch them several times, leave comments, do whatever. All that stuff helps the channel, and then we can get hopefully to some of these other projects sooner than later. But yeah. All right, friends, well, this probably was not very interesting, because you've seen me fix tires before, but it's something that I had to do. So that's good. Hopefully that will stay and participate now, so that I don't have to keep airing that up. But we will get to something more interesting one of these days. But in the springtime like this, there's always projects I want to do when the weather is just like this. This is my favorite time of year, when it's just right at springtime. Stuff is not growing yet, so you can get stuff cleaned up really good without fighting thick roots and stuff and everything. And it's just it's a handy time that's not too hot out here, so I can work with a light jacket. You know, I think it was 60 degrees today. So there's spring cleaning type stuff that I like to do when it's like this, and that's not stuff that I need to do on the camera or want to, because it just slows you down, and it's not that interesting anyway. But we're gonna try to, I got a lot of projects I want to wrap up before winter's over, and then so I'll try to get videos on all that kind of stuff, and then hopefully we can get into some, you know, of our ongoing projects like that, or like that, which we've done nothing to, or like some of those Fiats that need stuff, or that 200 that needs a clutch put in it. All of that stuff needs to happen. So that's what we're gonna do, and we're just gonna take it one day at a time and try to get as much done as we can, and hopefully everything will cooperate. Like I said, I took the last few days, I've been pretty sick. I don't know if it was something from the farm show, or if it was just a bad combination of things, or sudden weather changes, or what, but I was just I couldn't hardly do nothing. I slept most of the day on Saturday, I think it was, if I'm remembering right. It's kind of, the weekend was kind of a haze, and that was really crappy because that was some of our best weather through there, and I didn't get to play outside because I was not hardly able to go. So tired and everything. So anyway, hopefully we're on the right track now, and like I said, we can start getting some days when we can work out here, and it's going to be nice, and we can make things happen. And so that's what we're going to do. And as always, friends, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. After watching what you just saw, do you feel like your IQ has dropped lower than your credit score? Well, there's no reason that both of us should be miserable, so go ahead and hit that thumbs up and leave a comment. That stuff costs you nothing, and it really helps me out. Your banker may not approve, but I know mine will. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.